Can you hear the crickets? It's not evening, it's a beautiful sunny morning. On the cool side, we had a rain last night. Welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue, and I want to take you on a little tour of the garden today. If you'll excuse the weeds and the messiness of the garden, the rampant growth of green, I'm hoping that yours is as productive as mine has started to become. So let's go on a small little tour. In the last video, I showed you my brassicas that I planted, and they are all doing great. I think they've increased at least by 50% being in the ground. Their roots are starting to spread out and take in the nutrients from the soil below. Here is this bed on this side. The netting causes a little bit of a disruption in the video, but you get the picture. Along the ends of all my beds are my sweet potatoes. We had, just about a quarter inch of rain yesterday. Even had a tornado warning. But that freshly fallen rain from the sky has invigorated my sweet potato beds at the ends of my raised beds here on this side of the garden. I've had to water every single day, sometimes twice a day. Digging into the ground there already, the soil is a little on the dry side, so I will have to water again. And this tells me that it is packed full of something down there, which I'm hoping is sweet potatoes, if of course the voles haven't gotten them. In addition to those sweet potatoes, I have 5 bins back here. These are slightly smaller bins, but they are lush and hopefully full of those wonderful tubers. 1 bin of potatoes. Then I'm going to let go for a while longer until the foliage dies off. It is starting to die and suffer from old age, as I like to call it, before it's harvested. The next 2 beds are part of my bean trellis, and as you can see, it is a jungle in there. I have carrots that I have been picking. I've picked enough to process, about 6 or 7 pints of carrots already. You can see this is a Candyland tomato. With all the wind that we had yesterday, I'm going to have to come and restake it. This thing I have just let grow wild. Not taking the suckers off or anything. But there are thousands of tomatoes on here. This is a very fun tomato to grow. Under the bean arbor, plenty of beans. This variety of yellow, Monte Cristo, is so prolific. I can't praise it enough. If you have room to trellis for a yellow bean, grow this variety. I can't say enough positive things about this bean. It just keeps going. Now my purple potted pole beans on this side, it's very difficult to see with the sun shining through. They have reached their resting point, I like to call it. If I let them go, and you can see here, I'm letting it go and I'm getting a second flush of flowers. So I will get another crop of purples, but they're rather spindly right now because they're at the end of this cycle for them. But I do have lots of blossoms coming up. So they'll give me a few more. Maybe not as much as it did in their first flush. But the yellows, the Monte Cristo just keeps on giving. Beneath I have my basils, which have started to come back after a severe pruning and picking. I'm going to have to, hopefully if things stay cool enough, I'll be able to get another basil picking from this. There are more carrots on this end, and I think this week I should be pulling out another harvest of carrots. Most of these look to be mature enough. This side there's I think this is a German Johnson here, heritage variety, very good tomato, along with a Mexican sunflower, Litonia. Leeks are doing spectacularly well. I could probably harvest a few of these. You can harvest them, at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. I still have leeks, actually, dried leeks and frozen leeks in my freezer. And I don't need fresh quite yet, so I can let these go. In the past, I have let them winter over and mulch them up really heavily, mulch and compost, and they have wintered over, and then I could harvest them all winter long or harvest them again in the spring. I have cucumbers here on this end of my main garden up against my flower bed of zinnia, cosmos, and sunflowers. These are the gigantus ones that grow 8 to 10 feet tall. I haven't had such good luck with cucumbers, and I'm hoping that maybe with an influx of good rain, steady watering, and maybe even some fertilizer, I should be able to get this crop going again. Here I come into the main garden. I am greeted by a second trellis of beans. These are Trail of Tears beans, and I've picked a couple fresh ones, and they're delicious, but I'm gonna let these go and harvest them as a dried bean. So they're doing quite well. Down this aisle, you can see on this side I have lots of dill that I'll be picking. It's some heads I'm going to let go to seed, so they'll self-seed for next year. I have always found that my self-seeded garlic always does better than the seeds that I try and grow from. Down this aisle here, I have spaghetti squash. The vines have just about died away, and so these squashes, I think there's 5 or 6 of them here, are in different stages of ripening. I have an insanely large one right there. This is a row of tomatoes, which are not doing all that well. A mistake by me, even though these are quite lovely. I have 4 plants of what I think are sun gold tomatoes, and they were supposed to be celebrity tomatoes. So, a word of caution to those that start their own seeds: label every single cell. I must have goofed up somewhere on down the line. Although there's no harm in having sun gold tomatoes. but I certainly would have wanted celebrities, 4 plants of celebrities. Down the row here, I have some more carrots in different stages of development, which I will be pulling out as they're ready. Down here on the end, some ground cherries, and through here, celery, which this week I am going to be picking a whole crown of celery here. A few of them. I have probably 12. I need these for harvesting now, and I'll still leave, you know, a half a dozen or so that I can pick stalks individually. So you can see how beautiful those stalks are. My celery has done exceptionally well this year. Right inside the door, I have an empty bed here. You saw one of my recent videos on potatoes. I dug up some red Norlands that I had in here. There are a few more potatoes down here. I've planted lettuce in half the bed, and I'm going to get to planting some spinach, I think, and some tatsoi. And this bed I am going to keep going throughout the winter. I will put some kind of hoop here, and when the colder months arrive, I'll put some heavy greenhouse plastic over it and see how long I can harvest greens from this bed right here. Up this row, on this side, it's quite bright. Don't know if you can see. This is my tomato row here. I have Jet Stars. Along here I have some Cherokee Purple here. And then down at this end, starting some Amish paste here. These are obviously not Amish paste. These could be the celebrity that were supposed to be planted over there. The end here, this is edamame. And let's see if we can. There we go. There's some pods starting to form. It will probably be another 3 to 4 weeks, usually around Labor Day, when I pick these. A borage plant, more ground cherries, and here is my pepper row. Lots of peppers in here. I think these here are Anaheims, I think. Looks like they are ready to be picked. So it looks like I have pepper picking plans coming up. These are right here. Those are paprika peppers. And I think I saw one, yep, way down here, starting to ripen. They will turn a darker red when they're ripe. In here I have Sugar Rush Peach. They aren't quite ripened yet. This one is starting to turn that peachy color. Here's one back here. Almost. I'm going to make some hot sauce out of those. Now this hot mess in here, and I must apologize. This is my, yes, you guessed it, onions with plenty of weed pressure here. But I'm going to get those weeds pulled out. The tops have fallen over on most all of these, and I am going to get those harvested this coming week. Alongside here, you can see with the wind and the rain, I have a down tomato plant, which I have to stake back up against the trellis. Other than that, this row of tomatoes has started producing. I have a few Amish paste back there. Most of these are Jet Star. Through here, I have a couple, I think these are Juliet's, down here on this end. Now you have to admit, and come on, raise your hand, do you have a bed that looks like this? I can't be too embarrassed by it. It has been a good year, and some of these onions are going to look and be spectacular. So that's the August garden. It's a little bit of an unmanageable, unruly mess. At least mine is. I can't keep up with all the weeding that has to be done, but you need to assess your garden for its health. I look at weeds as maybe a cover crop and keeping the garden soil covered and the moisture level higher down in the ground. Keep those tomato plants with a good airflow. Clip off bottom leaves. Clip off some of the interior leaves so they aren't so bunched together and creating an environment that will lead to fungal disease. Lots to do out in the garden, but sometimes you just have to sacrifice the prettiness of a garden with all of the chores that have to be done. Priority is the harvest, and August is definitely a harvest season here. But as we're coming into September, things are slowing down. Harvest is finishing on a number of plants, so you also have to look at those garden beds and what you're going to do with them. If you have time, you can turn them over for a different crop like I did with my brassicas, or you get them prepared and ready for winter. So thanks for following me on this video. If you haven't already subscribed, give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Comment down below, what are you doing in your August garden? Can you keep up with everything that's going on? Harvest is a priority. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.